I moved over to the Philippines for one reason and one reason only. And that was economic freedom, breathing room, a chance that my little Social Security check would be able to carry me where I could never afford to live on Social Security in America. Meeting a woman or getting into a relationship was the last thing on my mind. And then something happened that I just didn't see coming. Alrighty, one thing I want to get off my chest from the get-go is that this is not a how to meet a girl or a relationship video. I don't know you. I don't know how to tell you how to meet somebody or what you're looking for. I only know me. It's also not a financial video. Again, I have no clue what your finances are or what your money situation is. I only know mine. So when I speak of these things, I want you to know that this is simply what happened to me and what my thinking was. And then I leave it up to you to draw your own conclusions and how it might apply in your life. I can tell you there is no peace like financial peace. And there's no peace like a well-adjusted relationship with somebody. However, when I first moved over here, the last thing that was on my mind was a relationship. I was chasing the financial freedom. I had Social Security check coming in. I believe the number back then, 9 years ago, was $1,700 and some change. I don't honestly remember. And when I got over here, I got myself set up. I found out that $1,700, once the initial startup cost had been resolved, and I found a place that I liked, and I settled in, that it worked just fine. Now, I think we can all agree that if I had tried to pull that off in the States, in America, on $1,700 and change, even though it was 9 years ago, those numbers aren't gonna work. So that was my only option in my mind, was to move over here or another Southeast Asian country. I settled on the Philippines because of the English and the visa and that was about it, really. Those were the two biggest selling points. So when I got here, I found something that I hadn't experienced in many, many, many years. And that was breathing room when it came to my finances. Every month, I managed to actually stay under that $1,700 number. And what fun it was to be living over here in an apartment that was just as nice as anything that I could have lived in the States. Kind of a bachelor pad deal, but a one-bedroom apartment. Had food in my belly, and I had even acquired transportation after 6 months. I gave myself 6 months to make sure that it would work financially. And when I say that I was only interested in the finances, that is a true story. I already know a lot of you are going to come back and you're going to say, oh, sure, Paul. You old guys that look like you all want to go over there to meet a woman. I get it. I understand where that's coming from. But when I tell you that that wasn't my priority, I'm telling you the truth. And you can choose to believe it or not believe it. It's up to you, bucko. I don't care. It's a free country, you know. Go outside and bark at the moon for all I care. I know what I know. There are gentlemen that come over here and their main priority is to meet a woman. And they kind of put the finances on the back burner. I think that is wrong. Just my opinion. You're welcome to leave your comment and tell me what you think. But it makes the most sense to me, even if I have somebody that I'm going to meet that I met online, I wouldn't let her meet me at the airport and drag me over to her province to meet her family. I've seen that rodeo play out a number of times. And in some cases it works, and in other cases it doesn't. Now, this video doesn't really apply to those guys that are coming over here to meet someone they've been talking to for a number of months or years, whatever the case might be, and their full intention is to do the K1 visa and take her back to the States. That's a totally different kettle of fish. If it was me and I was doing that, which I never would, but if I was, I would make sure that her and I got together and got along real well before I bought the plane ticket. But then again, that's just me. So once I had built the financial foundation, I was able to stand on my own 2 feet and take care of myself by myself. I did not need a woman. I think that's the big fault that some people fall into, is that they need a woman to help kind of prop them up and move them along. There's a big difference in my mind between needing and wanting. I myself never want to be needy. I want to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. Not only is I think that could work better for me, but it also works better for the woman when I meet her eventually, if I do, so that I'm a guy that is already okay and can take on certain responsibilities instead of fading everything off to her. When I came over here and got set up, I was just as happy as a clam, but things change. You see, I thought that getting set up financially and having all that breathing room was a finish line. Well, it turned out that it was really more of a starting gate, because once I was set up financially, life happened. And as I started to move about the cabin a little bit and getting out and being social with people, the opportunity to meet somebody was now presenting itself. And I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for it when I met my wife, my now wife. But it happened, and it's called life. The main thrust and the main point that I want to make in this little video is I feel that it's really, really important. It was really important for me to first be self-sufficient, stand on my own 2 feet, and make sure I can make it through life with or without somebody. The rest of it is just, as I said before, life happening. Now, someone did come into my life. I am a married man, and I have a very, very happy and fruitful marriage with someone that I care very, very deeply for. That didn't happen because I was putting on my best shirt and running around all the hot spots in town trying to find somebody. It came to me out of nowhere. And that was due to an interaction with a friend and his girlfriend. She asked me if I was single. I said yes. She said, why? I said, because I like it. And she said, well, I have a friend. Would you be open to meeting her? I said, sure, I'll meet her. I'll meet anybody. What the hell? What have I got to lose? I'm retired. I got all the time in the world. And that's the beginning of the relationship that I now enjoy with my wife, Baby May. The takeaway or the moral of this story, I think, is get in, get grounded, get settled, be cool with yourself, understand the math, get that financial relief under your belt, and then everything else will just flow if you allow it to. There are a lot of women out here and there where you're at that are not necessarily the perfect match for you. And I think that I've dated a number of women during the first couple of 3 years before I met my wife. And when they didn't work out, I recognized the signs right away and I just called it a day. But then when she stepped into my life and there was that little ray of sunshine and she was what I like to think of as my unicorn, well, I let nature take its course. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you think I'm full of shit, I get it. And if you think you'd like to say something nice, I'll take that too. Either way, I look forward to seeing you next time we get a chance to get together.